Is it Sade or Sade?
No, I said Sade because you said Sade, so then I was like, am I saying it?
They're gonna pull our cars. We're gonna be in trouble.
How quick is too quick for information to be given to children?
Yeah.
First question. Still had landlines,
Yes, we did.
right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we are literally in the middle of both of these worlds forming. Welcome to Millennial Minds. I'm Amber.
I'm Chris.
If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. So as always, we're gonna hop right into the vibe check, how things have been going. If you don't want to hear about the vibe check, you can skip ahead to Millennial Insights. But how have you been doing, baby?
Been doing good.
Good.
How have you been doing?
I've been doing really good.
Mm.
We had some exciting news.
Yes, we do.
We had some exciting news over the first.
Do you want to break it, or do you want me to?
I don't know. They can see from the camera.
Can they see from the
I
camera?
don't know. Well, people aren't watching. Not everyone's watching.
Not everybody's watching. For the visual,
You can
we
see.
got engaged.
We got engaged
on
the
the
first.
first. Yes, we did.
Oh, it's so pretty, baby.
Yes, we did. Yes,
We got engaged. So that was really exciting. That was like, and we set our intentions, which I think was just beautiful. Sitting with each other, talking about our goals
Yes.
for 2026.
Yes.
It was just really magical. We watched the fireworks.
Yes, we did.
We had wine, we had Stranger Things, we had charcuterie. Like it was really a really great new year. So I'm really excited for 2026.
What was that? What was the meat that came with the charcuterie? Was it what
Summer
kind of
sausage.
summer sausage?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had summer sausage, cheese, crackers, a little strawberry preserve. I'm saying a little red wine.
I will say, I'm not the biggest fan of your Triscuits, but that
Okay.
night was so good.
It might have been the alcohol. He's like, oh, it's a little
No. I think it was really good. I wish I could have made like a mini sandwich. You
you don't need two halves. That's like, like, come on, that's too much Trisky. You just need a little preserve. Gives that added sweetness.
It was so good.
It was very good.
It was so good.
But yeah, I think that's really
Yeah.
That was the highlight.
Yeah. Thanks to your mom. She got it for us for Christmas.
Yes. Thank you, Mom, for charcuterie.
We opened it, and when we see her again, we'll let her know exactly. Unless you already told her how it was.
I sent her a picture.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, and it was so cute too because the charcuterie is a little Christmas tree. It's a little Christmas tree.
Yes, one of the pieces we'll be keeping.
Yes.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
love fun furniture, fun dishes,
fun plants,
fun artwork. Like we just like all of the, things.
I will say having your monster over here is
We moved
pretty
her.
good. Pretty good.
Yeah, she wasn't there at first, or he. I don't even know. I think they're boys. This twin, they're boys.
Oh. Well, this would be a perfect segue into what we're going to talk about today.
That segue.
We'll see. I'll let you know
Okay.
when we get to it. But no, I think it's nice, right? Because it was isolated in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And moving them over, right? Like even coming in this morning, I was just like, "Oh, she's
very empty."
Very. So
yeah,
we're
if
gonna
you
have
could
to
see where they were, maybe we'll take a picture because it is very
put at the end of the video.
Yeah, just like before and after, because it is giving wide open.
Well, I will say this, baby, it's hurting my feelings right now because you haven't acknowledged the shirt that I'm wearing.
I know the shirt that you're wearing. Okay, for context,
this was my other Christmas gift. It is my baby. What is this? A Sade cover?
Yes, it was inspired by Sade.
Sade. Is it Sade or Sade?
No, I said Sade because you said Sade, so then I was like, am I saying it?
They're gonna pull our cars. We're gonna be in trouble.
The start of 2026, our black card has been removed.
Fastest removal in history.
Took less than 24 hours.
Oh goodness, we haven't even got the first week of the way.
That's funny,
But
but yeah,
yes, this is a great photo of you, and I call you the moon of my life, and
yeah,
so you put to the moon,
yeah.
right? So
And
I
there's a moon
do,
in the
and
background.
there's a moon in the background. So
Super cute.
I appreciate it so much.
Oh, it's so cute. You can actually like wear it like a shirt.
Yes, 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 and I plan to do so this
And I
afternoon.
wonder now, I wonder as you're wearing this shirt,
Will someone say so?
will someone be like,
Who is that?
and then look and be like, hold on, is that her on the shirt? I
Mm,
wonder if that'll happen.
we'll see.
Is that crazy for
I'm
you to wear a picture of
I'm
me
not a
on your
gambling
shirt?
man, but what we talk about in the office is like
The what?
the over under for the odds, right? You bet the under because it's not going to meet that time or
Uh-huh.
you know
This
what
has get gotten technical very quick.
very quick.
Very quick. I'm already it went over.
Hold on. Speaking of right,
Uh-huh.
let me finish my point
Mhm.
before I go to Gonzaga last night. So, um, I think give it 30 minutes or
Mhm.
more. I think
Okay.
someone will acknowledge it.
Okay.
You know, it might take a minute. I think Brooke will be the one.
No, I think Brooke would too.
She'll be the one to
I think
notice
she'll
it,
be the one.
and everybody else might just like, oh, there,
And then
like
she'll be like, "I didn't see you me." I feel that coming.
she'll do that. But last night, Gonzaga basketball, men's basketball, they played a game against Seattle. I don't know if
Mhm.
it's Seattle University or whatever, but
Mhm.
apparently they're about. I don't know what they were favored. Had to
Mhm.
be something crazy because ESPN was like blowing my phone up,
Mhm.
saying you need to tune into this because this might be the biggest odds upset in
Mhm.
history, right? So it's just gotten out of hand, you know.
I'm so lost though. Are we talking about like
Basketball.
FanDuel type stuff?
Yeah, I think so. I
Oh,
mean, it could be the sports books, MGM, or whatever the case is,
okay.
but um, it is gotten out of hand, right? Like it's
No,
just
yeah, it's everywhere. And I think
everywhere.
a lot of sports fans, from what I've been able to take from some of the pods that I listen to, is that they're not happy with it. It's become very invasive marketing.
You know what they should do?
What?
You know what they should do? I think to prevent liability,
Mhm.
especially on like the big players, the big names, the
Mhm.
LeBrons, the Steph Currys, Kevin Durant's, and stuff of the world,
Mhm.
right? What they should do, the guys that are typically maybe play less than 30 minutes a night,
Mhm.
those should be the odds. You know,
Okay.
don't put the big stars at risk if they're not meeting their average for the night, right? Because
Yeah.
that's where a lot of people go to. They go to the Joel Embiid's, the Jokic, the John Morant's.
I am wow. I'm very far removed, babe. You've went all the way deep. I'm
Well,
gonna need you to not go
okay.
long. I'm gonna need you to
Let
go
me
wide.
let me
I
let
need
me
you to go
let me
wide.
make it simple and let me put a button.
Okay, let's put a button on it.
I think going forward, and of course this year is done, but I think going forward, what these betting sites should do
Mhm.
is restrict the consumer or the bettor,
Mhm.
right? They should restrict them from betting on the top players because that's where the money goes.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know, so much money goes into the Patriots as a team and stuff
Mhm.
like that. That's fine. They can bet on the team, but like the individual players, take
Yeah.
them off of
Yeah.
the slips. And only do like the smaller guys, like the 6 man, 7 man, the fourth man.
But and now I'm gonna put a button on it because if I'm one of the big guys, bet on me.
I mean, no, 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 because I told you about the incident that happened in Philly, right? The One of the players got hit by a car, right? Now people don't
That is
suspect
crazy,
that it was
actually.
tied to that, but
Mhm.
they still hear it when they're in the stadium playing.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, you're not meeting your average or whatever the case is, and people threaten and like some of the stuff that I see on social media is crazy.
Yeah.
So fortunately they're insulated. They don't have to worry about that, on a regular basis. I mean, it's still a threat. You have
Yeah.
to take it seriously, but the likelihood of something like really, really happening is
Mhm.
very small. However, it still would put me at risk, right? Like I don't want to have to sit here and sign an autograph and someone, just says something
You
to
got hit by a car.
me.
That would be crazy.
No,
Punching me because I got hit by a car and didn't meet my average would be
no,
wild.
um more like you didn't grab that rebound last night. Like it
Yeah.
like that becomes hostile. So to protect the players, I think they just should remove the bigger guys from the slips going
Okay.
forward.
Okay.
Today, what are we talking about today,
Today we're gonna hop into the millennial insight and just discuss a topic that's just been something that was kind of brought to our attention when we were watching, not just brought to our attention, but has been a topic circulating
for several years?
for some years.
Yes.
And so we just thought it'd be good to highlight because we saw a recent video about children's media and
Mm.
content
Hmm.
and the direction that it has begun to go in the recent years,
Okay.
specifically the SpongeBob movie that was just released. We happened to see like
Yeah.
a video about how the previews were kind of crazy, lots of butts and moving and shaking. The eye patch scene
Ice
with
Spice.
Patrick, Ice Spice at the premiere.
Yeah.
And so we thought that it would just be a really good conversation to have, specifically just kind of what cartoons look like when we grew up versus I guess now, and like what would you say as far as what you remember from, and I have some things that I'll touch on, but like
Okay.
how has children's programming changed from when we were growing up, would you say?
Hmm. Whew. I mean, I haven't watched a cartoon in God knows how long. However, I do remember, and so you were talking about butts, right?
Yeah.
So I do remember a couple of scenes,
Yeah.
right, where the butt may be a little too big, or it's like
Yeah.
it's I don't know. I think overall, the stuff that I've seen online, right,
Mhm.
this only time that I'm seeing this is I feel like it's a little bit more programming than usual,
Mhm.
or from what I can remember. I mean, gosh, baby, I mean, we came up on Ed, Ed, Eddie, or
That was so stupid.
Courage the Cowardly Dog, or Powerpuff Girls,
Some of those
Dexter's
scenes have
Lab.
been called out though. Some of the scenes in Curse the Cowardly Dog have been called out. Ren and Stimpy.
Is it about Eustace?
Huh?
Is it about Eustace and how he treated Muriel? Muriel didn't deserve it.
I
He did not. He didn't mess with the dog. He didn't mess with Muriel like that. He would. It could be like a very very serious threat, and he would not care at all.
I wasn't a huge fan of Courage. I would say that I was a fan of SpongeBob when it first came out.
Yeah, SpongeBob is another one. Yeah,
SpongeBob was, early not what was it,
I
99?
don't remember anything like that though.
But I don't remember, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't remember overt messaging. I do remember like hindsight is 2020. So there were adult jokes sprinkled in, but they
I'm
were
sure.
very
Yes,
mild.
I'm sure. Yes.
They were very mild. I think too from some of the clips, like we were looking at Strawberry Shortcake,
Yes.
and the Transberry in
Yes.
Strawberry Shortcake.
Mm.
And like that's very I feel like that's just more overt, of like messaging. Whereas before, I guess it would be more covert messaging. But it wasn't even like even for example, like the Teletubbies. I think I was telling you this the
Ah,
other day. That's like
yes. Yes.
I feel
Yes.
like all
Yes.
of the Teletubbies were non-binary, or I don't know exactly what
It
the term would
never
be.
crossed
Like
my
but right, but like as a child, what a character was never was something like if they were boy, girl, male, female, like that was
mind.
never something that I really
We saw the
thought about.
features. We saw the
Yeah.
features, and then it went directly to maybe the attire that they were wearing,
Yeah.
how
Like
they
what color?
sounded, yeah,
Yeah.
and that was it, right? And then we
Yeah.
were able to decipher, like, okay, that's me, blah 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 blah.
Hmm.
Right now, I don't. know what they're what they're putting in these shows, right? Because using the Transberry
Hmm.
example, right? This is, I think we saw it without context. So
Yes, that's literally you're literally reading my mind. That's literally what I was gonna
we
say.
saw it without context, so we don't know if she was introduced as such or she might have been like
Yeah,
a day one character and we don't know,
and we don't know.
right?
Hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, sexuality was never like a big like thing for our shows, right? Like it
Hmm.
was never like not so much a talking point, but it was like there was no emphasis on it.
There was no emphasis on it. It was like it was almost like the only thing that I can kind of
Like
relate it to.
we came there to laugh,
Yeah,
cry potentially. I mean, I don't.
watch some stupid stuff. It was stupid. A lot
Yeah, I
of
mean,
it,
like when SpongeBob got put in that can and Squidward was going crazy on it. He would he crash out? Is that what the kids say now?
the kids say no.
They say he crashed out on.
The one when SpongeBob went to go visit Sandy inside.
Oh, while she was hibernating. I love that one. That was so funny. They realized they messed up so quick. Oh, are you? Hold on. Are you talking about the hibernating one? Okay, okay, okay.
And then they finally put the thing on his head because like he needed water. That was the funny. He was in there
She ripped
dying.
Patrick's head clean off.
Oh my gosh! When they showed a sponge and a star, I was
Oh goodness.
because that is hilarious.
It
But
is
like
hilarious.
it was it was things like that, and like the only thing that I can like really think to explain like how cartoons were was like what's understood doesn't need to be explained kind of thing. If that's like a
Yeah.
if that would be right.
But see, I guess in the time that we're in, and I touched on this earlier
Mm-hmm.
when we were talking about, or when we saw the video.
Yeah.
I feel like we are in a different time,
Mm-hmm.
so inclusion is very important for a lot of these studios.
Yes.
All right. Last night when we were watching Pirates of the Caribbean,
Mm-hmm.
right? What did I do? I went directly to the credits and
Mm-hmm.
I saw because I wanted to know one why it took so long for the fifth one to come out,
Yes.
and number two, what was the issue?
Yeah.
You know, and so, well, more so is that were the same people involved in the first four involved with the fifth one,
Mm-hmm.
right? To see if there was any correlation there, and sure enough, there was. Right, the screenplay writers were still there. All
Mm-hmm.
right, the main producer, shout out to Jerry Bruckheimer, he's still there.
Mm-hmm.
But the director was different, of course, right? But there was other writers that were on the previous shows, not
Mm-hmm.
shows, excuse me, but the previous movies that weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the animators now are starting to put maybe I don't know if it's like a fetish thing. I don't want to disrespect them, but you know, maybe it's something there where the animators feel like, you know what, let's make this a little bit more silly. Because guess what? Butts are silly.
They are silly.
They are silly. When you're a 10-year-old kid and you see a big butt, you're laughing. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you gotta be blah 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 blah. You know, you're doing that, right? So I get that,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when it starts to become like excessive, you know, you see it
Excessive
like every like, why does this man have a huge
bomb.
badonkadonk?
Not a but
You know, because I remember now that I'm thinking back, right? I remember a scene in Ed and Eddie where Ed was in the mirror and for some reason like his butt was as big as the mirror and the mirror was like, you know
okay.
what I'm saying,
Yeah.
tall as, but he was like moving it back and forth and that was funny, right? Because
Yeah.
we knew Ed was not up there. So it was just like, what is he
Hold on,
doing?
but which Ed? Like all of the
Ed,
Eds
no,
were.
no. So
No,
it's
you're talking about Ed. Ed.
Ed
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
Ed.
Ed.
So at the time we really weren't thinking about
Ed.
what.
Keep going.
Oh, talk to me. What is it? What do you?
I don't know. Like I'm trying to form the thought process. I'm trying to form the thought process. And now I special ed,
Mhm.
ed.
I was
He was
thinking.
ed
I was thinking ed like education. I don't know, but yes, you
because
maybe right.
ed was
Ed,
the
yes,
least
smart one.
smart.
Yeah.
Right.
EDD was ed, and then ed.
Was ed because they're all
EDD was the one that wore the hat on,
yes.
and then of course Eddie was the middle guy.
Yes. But that's a very interesting, because I don't know, it just like it literally just hit me just now thinking about that, and I was like,
It's not so much an Easter egg, but yeah,
no, it's not an Easter egg, but as a child, you don't recognize those types of things.
I
And
recognized it when I got older.
yes, I didn't recognize it until
Yeah.
now. It's just like even with the music, and not to get too off topic, but it's even like with the music. I remember telling you that my mom got me the Pretty Ricky album. So very young.
Did you know what parental advisory meant?
Baby, I was a child. I didn't give a damn about no parental
I
advisory.
knew what it meant. And shout out to my mother.
But hold on, let me say this. Shout out to my mother too, because she did get me the edited version. Doesn't make it any better because it was still trifling.
I shout out to my mother. We were on a road trip to Cleveland, and
Hmm.
I played Encore Eminem front to back at least 5 times on the way there. Yes, I love that album, but I knew the difference, right? And so
Yeah.
she ended up giving me the cussing
Oh,
version.
wow.
Yeah, she
Come
did.
on, thank God she did not get me the unedited version of Pretty Ricky, because when I got older, this is the funny thing. I did not know the real lyrics to those songs until I got much older, and I was
Floored.
flabbergasted. Do you hear me? I said, "What?" I said, "This is like," I was still singing the edited versions.
Ah,
That's how, like, it was crazy.
yeah.
But it's like even just in that correlation, like you don't realize until you get older. I think one of the things that when it comes to the media we're seeing now is how quick is too quick for information to
Mm,
be given to children.
yeah.
First question. And then the second question is is it parents are allowed to create that boundary for their children? And
Yeah.
I feel like
Absolutely.
there's such a discourse between communities,
Hmm.
right? As far as how parents want to educate their children, right? Like, what are your thoughts as far as what is too quick? I mean, and also this is coming from the perspective of individuals who don't have children. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's,
We should
okay,
have said it in the beginning.
we should have, but at the end of the day, this is what millennial minds. Okay. So we can do what we want.
I thought you were pointing at the kids, and I was just, I was like, you
Right.
don't do that.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna
Ah,
act like a parent, because I'm not. And so this is really just a general dialogue of just how we're seeing it. Because at the end of the day, these are the kids that that will be running the world, right? And so, I don't think it's wrong to have that conversation, because we're gonna have a even more diverse
yes.
world as they get older.
Yeah.
So this is coming from the perspective of we're not parents. Also, I do think it's interesting to view to understand or talk about what is too early,
Mm. Ah,
you know?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what we're talking about, right? And as a parent, because I feel like this is a two-part question, not a separate. Right? I
Mhm.
think they're related. Um, because as a parent, I do think that they are in a tough spot,
Mhm.
right? Because not only are you sending your child to school, and the influence there is already a big factor. Then they come home. I know that we've talked about how some of these parents are just letting the tablets and the phones and stuff like that babysit them and
Mhm.
whatnot. Um, and shoot, even the dads that I hear on the podcast that I listen to, when
Which
they talk,
podcast is that?
okay, so the
Okay, never mind. Move on now. Now move on. Move on. Move on.
so the podcast that I listen to, right? They talk about how they put their child on punishment by removing the iPad for a couple days, right?
Funny thing, when I was on punishment, that was already gone. So it was more so
Yeah.
it was a cellular flip that was removed with a grainy camera at that.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was It was a PlayStation.
Yeah, it was a
You know what I'm
PlayStation.
saying? Like it wasn't.
It wasn't a tablet. It
Yeah,
wasn't a computer. I
we
mean,
already
my
had a
mother my
bedroom.
mother did remove the keyboard one time, but
The keyboards.
to the computer. Boy, did I not
You can turn it on, but you can't go far.
figure it
That's
out. I
funny.
figured out something. But
What did you do?
well, I was able to play the pinball.
You know what? This see that would annoy me because if I come home and I done took the
But this
computer,
is like MySpace and stuff, so I couldn't get on that. But it
yeah.
was still like, yeah. But I found a workaround. But
Hmm.
anyways, I don't know what could be said. I think that's up to the parent, right? Like, I think when we have a little one, and you know, eh, surely we're gonna be way more involved than what
Oh
we're
yeah,
what we're seeing and hearing about.
absolutely.
So it's not gonna be a problem. However, I don't know if we want to like vet it before we show her, or him. It's like, do we want to watch it first and then bring it to him? Like, I don't know if that how that's gonna work because if the content of what we deem is between 4 and 6, right? If that's the target audience for the show, but there's some things that should be for like early teens.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And so like, I don't I don't know. I think it just depends on the type of content that you're showing, right? I think if if I was to sit down and watch a movie, right? Let's say Bad Boys. They're
Hmm.
shooting, there's sexy stuff going on, maybe drugs, whatever the case is.
Hmm.
If she want to come down and sit next to me when she's like 5 years old, am I going to turn it off? Might ask you because I won't know.
We're already bad there.
But yeah, I don't know. Like
Am I gonna turn it off?
this is one of my favorite movies. So it's like I don't know if I
No, but
will.
I hold on. Let me add to that because this is the thing. Growing as we when we were growing up, that's the thing. It's like when we were growing up, these things were never cut off, right? I can
Exactly.
remember
Yes.
lots of movies that I remember my dad letting me watch Chucky, baby. I remember that. My
That's why you
dad,
don't like scary movies now.
it might be a reason. And there might be something to that.
It
You might
might
be
be
thinking.
something to that.
But he let me watch Chucky, right? But I watched it again in later years, and I
And
was
you
like,
you
"This
see
was
how
it."
silly
I was like, "It's a doll."
I
Okay,
would.
we're done. But he let me watch Chucky with him. It was me and my sister.
Okay.
However, when the doll started, doing the do in Chucky, he was like, all right, let me, we didn't see that part, right?
Oh,
So he moved
interesting.
past that,
Okay.
and so, but again, it is, I think that it is watching with your child the content that they're watching and adding discernment. Like, and that's the thing. My mom will tell you time and time again, I grew up on gangster rap. How many times has she wanted to remind us that we ushered in a generation. Y'all wouldn't have the rap y'all had if it wasn't for, gangster rap, whoa, whoa, whoa. My mom slowed down listening to gangster rap, but my mom never stopped listening to rap,
Hold on.
right? Hold on. I'm getting
Okay.
to a point.
My
And the
apologies.
point that I'm getting to is that even though my mom listened to rap, there was also my mom adding context to the rap. When we would listen to things, my mom would tell me repeatedly, Amber, this is not real. Amber, this is not true. Amber, do not take this for fact. You see what I'm saying?
Mm,
And so she, even though I was exposed to concepts early, and I wouldn't even say early, I was exposed to concepts with with discernment and with context. You see what I'm saying? And I think that added a roundness to
Cause you,
the
cause,
content.
cause you're not listening, you're not watching, and leaning on your own understanding.
Exactly.
You
I
have your
have no understanding to
you
lean
you,
on.
you have your parents there, right?
Yes.
And so, knowing you, I know you ask questions. You know what I'm saying?
Lots of questions.
Lots of questions, right? And I think that's another thing too.
And I was
Is
allowed to ask a lot of questions.
yeah, let them ask, let them be curious in that
Yes.
regard versus sitting them down and then just keeping them occupied with something,
Right.
and
Because
then they
then that's
seeing
confusion.
seeing a whole bunch of stuff like, oh, am I supposed to have this? Am I
Right.
supposed to wear that? Like,
What
am I
does that
supposed to act
mean?
like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so instead it's like it gives them that that freedom to just express themselves,
Mhm.
and ask questions because Lord knows, I never ask my mom anything, like especially when I'm listening to stuff. I never ask, but it got into my mind, but it quickly went out,
Mhm.
right? Because I would just, I don't know, maybe I have
It got into your mind as far as like, what do you mean?
like I would listen to a lyric,
Mhm.
right, and I would at the time be curious about it, but I'll be on to the next one, the next
Okay.
line, right? Like
Yeah.
it was just like okay, but then it was quickly out, right? Like it didn't just sit in my mind thinking, what is,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
A
saying?
drop.
Yeah.
A drop. See, that's the type of question I ask my mama. Mama,
Well,
what's a
actually, I
drop?
don't know. I don't know what all I could say while we're on YouTube.
I mean, a drop is a drop.
I was gonna
Okay.
say something a little bit more vocal, but
Okay. Maybe not that.
okay.
But, things like that I was able to ask my mom about. I remember, and this is kind of off, but also still kind of on the same. I remember I was in middle school.
Hmm.
I remember asking my mom so honestly, Mom, can I wear a G string? No idea. No idea
And that's where the
what a G
conversation
string
comes.
was, right? But
Yeah.
I had a friend, I think I was maybe in sixth grade, maybe seventh. I know. And the friend I had, I think she was in eighth grade, and she was a neighbor of ours in the same apartment community, right? So we would go to the bus stop together, we would hang out after school, play, all that kind of stuff. And she was wearing G strings. And I was like,
Eighth grade.
that's what I'm saying. At this hindsight is 2020. Now I know, hell no. Okay. But when I went to my mom, I was like, Mom, can I wear a G string? And my mom, God bless her, my mom was like, a G string? Where'd you hear about a G string? What is it? Let me think about it.
Y-
So, because she wasn't gonna go into it right then, but she was just like, let me think about it.
You know what? And
You
it
know,
reminds me
and she didn't
because
get mad at me or anything. She was just very, where did you get this concept of a G string?
because I remember a moment, right? It was me, my brother, my dad, my mom, and we had two cousins over,
Okay.
and it was around the holiday time, and
Mhm.
so we were listening to the Chocolate Factory
We're done.
from Redacted, right? And so
We're finished. We
we
can
were
draw the line
so we
right
were
there.
listening to "Step in the Name of Love,"
Okay.
right? And we were kind of doing the dance and stuff like that on the hardwood, and it was fun, right? And I remember that memory.
Uh huh.
But also on that album isn't Ignition on that album?
I
I
think
believe
so.
so, right? So I never once questioned what like he was,
Right.
metaphorically talking
We're talking
about.
about,
You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Yeah, I
We're talking about
stayed
sticking the key in
I
the
stayed
ignition
in a child's
in a
place.
child's place. But also, you had no context to really. Why would you?
Because I knew the music wasn't for me, right? It was definitely
Right.
for my folks.
But
So
with what he's saying,
yeah,
there would be no need for you to look outside of the context of a vehicle unless
hmm
someone brought that idea to you.
right.
And I'm sure, like, if someone brought the idea, then okay, let's be curious, let's ask questions, right? But if you as a child are listening to that song in the context of a car, all you can think of is the context of a car. You have nothing else that you're thinking about or listening. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have
Yes.
no, right?
Yeah.
Until you have the talk, right? And like,
Right.
until you have the talk, then adding anything else to that doesn't make sense, in my opinion,
Right.
for a child that's 7. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, I have no need to do that.
Exactly. So I think I don't know what's too early. I think it's definitely
No.
up for the parents. Because there's so much that you can look into or
Hmm.
indulge in. So it's not. I don't want to keep. I don't want to say they should keep so much content from it or so much media content from it,
Hmm.
right? But for me, I think it's really about just making sure that you're aware of what your child is watching
Yes.
because you know I mean, my goodness, the guy that had what was it like Coco Melon or some show on loop
Oh
for like
yeah,
10
yeah, yeah,
hours, and then he started seeing a whole bunch of AI stuff,
yeah.
after for the YouTube Shorts.
That's freaky.
Freaky.
The AI stuff And the thing is that even as
And so
adults,
when you know that that's out there, you
yes,
have to be more.
you do.
You got to be proactive
You have
because
to be vigilant.
you got to get in front of it somehow.
Hmm.
Because if your child is just scrolling through and they see something,
Yes.
it could definitely mess up their mind a little bit. So for me, like clearly the parameters that Apple and Google and Amazon have put on these tablets or whatever to prevent children from seeing stuff like that. They have age restrictions on streaming apps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Clearly not working. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, what are you watching? What you know what I'm saying? Like for me, like I think that's where you would need to step in. Either that or tell them side.
And that was what I was going to get to, was that when it came to, and
Cut
I
down on
and
the
I think
screen time.
a lot of I think people in our age group can relate to is that a lot of our parents were a little bit more involved
Yes, they were.
because the internet was so new,
Yes, they were.
right? The internet was so
We
new,
didn't
social
have it.
media was new. We
Oh,
had AOL.
well, no, hold on. Which age? Which age are you talking about?
I'm talking about as we got to when social media first hit the scene. When
We were,
MySpace
uh,
hit the scene, right? 13, 12, 13, something like that.
yeah,
MySpace was a thing,
yeah.
right?
There you go.
And so I would say the internet at that time was still a fairly new thing because we still had AOL dial up connecting through the telephone. We still had homes. We still had landlines,
Yes, we did.
right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we are literally in the middle of both of these worlds forming,
Hmm.
right? Or happening, right? And so because of that newness, I think that our parents were still very much in the loop, so to speak, because they had to be, right? Y2K
Yeah.
was not that far before.
Yeah. I
You know what I'm
mean,
saying?
regardless of how people may feel about my mom buying that Eminem album, she knew what was
She
on
knew it
there.
was out there. Yeah.
Yeah, she knew what was on there. She was just like, okay, like I don't like if he asks questions, she'll be prepared to answer him, right?
Yeah.
But she had an idea of who her son was
Hmm.
and knew that whatever M was talking about on that album is not,
Please.
like it's
Yeah.
whatever, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just I just wanted to hear the beats and some silly stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like he was burping and farting on records.
That's disgusting.
That's
Actually.
funny, you know what I mean? Like that, it doesn't go, but it let me not get into Eminem
Okay.
because his talent is way bigger than whatever I just said.
Okay.
So you would think that he was some kind of popcorn rapper,
Okay.
but anyways, but yeah, I mean, like she made it her mission to kind of stay involved in what me and my brother were always doing.
Yes.
Even before the social media boom,
Hmm.
and prior to that, so
Yes.
it helped a lot tremendously.
Yes.
Knowing that I'm not just watching something and man, I don't know. Like I think these studios, and maybe we could put a button on this.
No, I still have a
You have
point.
a point. Okay, my bad. Go ahead. You go
I
ahead.
think too, because our parents were still like were so involved, it isn't such a foreign concept for us to be able to have more discernment in the media that we're consuming now. Yes, social media has kind of taken over or whatnot, and has done all of these things, but we are a really lucky group of individuals because we did have that involvement. I think we had a lot more context when it came to
Mm,
content early on. And so going even into like the whole self-awareness aspects that, millennials are, very self-aware, blah, blah, all that kind of stuff is because we had that context to the media, and our parents, I think, were not letting us be raised by content. We were told to go outside, like there were other places for us to let out these endorphins and have fun and be with other children, and you know what I'm saying. So it was very much, I remember growing up in the apartments, and my mom would just go outside, go to your friend's house, or go knock on the door and go outside and play. You know what I'm
I never
saying?
understood that. So
Like,
I can't stay here, but you will send me to a friend's
no, she
house to
not
go
to a
inside.
friend's house, but
No,
like, go get your friend.
I know.
Yeah,
It always bothered me. I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute. you cool with me going somewhere else to someone else's house, but I can't stay
But I
here.
can't stay here. Absolutely not.
Like it didn't make sense. I was like, I'm going from one house to the next. Like what the heck?
My mom would be like, go outside and play and go get your friend Joanna from next door
Yeah,
and y'all go outside and go do
we
something.
stayed in a pretty big subdivision,
Yeah.
so
Even walking the subdivisions, like
the
we would,
cul-de-sacs and what?
baby, like cars will be big, okay?
Baby, I had a bike. I don't. It wasn't anything special. Like so,
Like is a
had a Mountaineer. I don't know any bikes, so don't cut me up about that.
gosh.
But I had a bike, right? And actually, you know what? I think next time we're in Murfreesboro, I'll have to take you to it
Hmm.
and show you. But anyways, there was like this huge hill, and I will always just run up it, right?
Hmm.
Especially when I found out when I made my rounds
Not you made your
in the
rounds.
neighborhood. Is he home? Look, no, he's not home.
He's not home.
Is he home? No, he's not
Right.
home. Is she home? No, she's not home. Is he home? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I'm like, okay, it's going to be a boring day. So let me try to get up this mountain, this hill, or whatever. And
And you
it was fun.
preoccupied yourself.
What? Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, 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 yeah. So like the fact that because I'm sure a lot of friend groups today, right? They're growing up with iPads, they're growing up with
Hmm.
tablets and stuff like that. So if nobody's outside, you're not going outside.
You know, and that's why you got to start them early.
Start them early.
Start them
Start them
early.
early,
Go outside, find something to do. As I always say, make a mud pie. I don't pick some berries. Don't eat them.
baby. Oh
Pick
my
up some
gosh.
acorns. Put them in a bucket. I used to sit out acorns for the squirrels, baby. I would go out and have me a field day. I would go out, find acorns, put them in my little pumpkin holder basket from
Environmental
Halloween,
baddie. Look,
and then I would come right up, sit them on the porch. Okay,
there's a term for you for that, right?
what?
I'm trying to think of something like environmental baddie.
Okay.
You know,
You know, at that age, I don't think I was caring too much about the environment. I was just like, ooh,
picking
I'm
up
gonna feed the
acorns,
squirrels.
picking up
Yes,
acorns.
I was picking up berries, acorns, all types of stuff. I'm climbing trees. I'm, you know, planting stuff, playing in dirt. You know what I'm saying? Like there was just like my mind was able to. I wasn't so restricted, and I think that the content sometimes can be restrictive for children because they're not
Do you
experiencing other
do you
things.
think
And also they're I think they are getting a lot of
are
information really quickly.
the schools providing not providing are the schools asking the parents to get tablets because they can do homework on that?
I have no idea, but as a
That's
parent, I'm not
crazy.
required. You're not going to require me to get a tablet. I'm not buying no damn tablet.
Because I'm thinking because like for these parents to go out here and just get tablets and
No,
stuff like that for the kids, like man,
y'all got deep pockets. I love that for
personally,
you.
hmm, personally, I wouldn't. Right, like
No,
no, I'm not gonna get one until maybe 12,
yeah, my
yeah,
child will be
13.
lucky. Our child would be lucky to have a cellular device that
No,
early.
well, if I mean if we're sending her to a friend's house, like I need to stay in contact,
Absolutely.
you know. But yeah,
But see,
I don't know.
that's where the landlines need to come back because I can pick up the
I'm
phone,
down
baby.
to get one,
I am down as well because I want a cute one. Stick it on the wall.
and I was just talking about Bad Boys, right?
Uh huh.
And Captain Howard, right? He was one of the
Let's.
guys, right?
Hmm.
So when Martin Lawrence, I was watching Bad Boys 2 yesterday, and Martin Lawrence ended up ingesting.
Yesterday.
No, while I was cooking, I had it in the
Oh,
background, and so he had a landline, right? But the phone looks so cool, and I was like, I would love one like that.
I want
I'm
to go
gonna have to
clear
show
one. I want to
a
go back to the
clear
clear. Yeah,
one.
the clear ones. They had the clear ones back in the day
I
where you can
don't.
see all the chords to it, and then it had like a little colored top.
Okay,
That is cute. I thought that was the cutest. I wanted that phone so bad.
I'm gonna have to show you his, but
I
yeah,
wanted
okay.
that phone so bad. But yes, I'm down for going back to a landline. And as my mom said, let the grid go down. I'm charging $10 a call.
Uh,
Period. Okay.
she got it figured out.
She really does. Hustle. Okay. Y'all want to hustle so bad? That's gonna be the new hustle.
Yeah, but I hope I answered both your questions. But
No, you
I
did.
don't believe that I don't know if that's well, it's really up to the parents to determine how much is
Yes.
too, too soon.
Hmm.
And hopefully they're because the studios don't care. right?
No.
They're saying, hey, they're slapping 4 to 6 or 7 to 9 on these TV shows, rated. Wow, what is the child?
The one that
What's the
we
child
saw,
rating?
the strawberry shortcake, I think was 4 to 6,
Four to
which that
six.
was very surprising to me. Even though we don't have context on the transberry, I don't know if they were part of the entire series or not. I still do think that it is, that for me, I can feel parents in saying that that's a conversation I would prefer to have
Yeah,
versus a TV show telling, like introducing this messaging before I'm ready to introduce it.
yeah. Because what did it say? It was like not a boy, not a girl, or something like that.
Yes,
It was
something like
something
that.
something strange, and I was
Right.
like,
So it's like now you're introducing this new terminology, and I'm
mm-hmm,
not prepared to, especially at 4 or 6,
yeah.
I'm not prepared to have that conversation yet.
And man, I wouldn't be surprised the kid didn't say anything. Now it's too late.
Right. Because again, if these are, you know, and I'm not, and maybe it makes it, it's a tough one because is it then that there isn't a conversation that needs to be had, or because if your home dynamics are different than this, right? I understand wanting to have a space for your child, right? So it does bring up like the questions of, what does programming look like in the future for children,
Yes.
like what does that, because if these concepts, it's not if these concepts are normal in many households around America,
Hmm.
right? And so I think that brings me to, I remember when we were there was something that there was another video that we were watching about the two dads, and what I was sharing with you is that, like, yes, I absolutely believe that this is programming that makes sense because lots of families have two moms or two dads,
Yeah.
right? And where the commenter had an issue, where I also definitely
Was
agreed,
wasn't it choosing the clothes?
huh?
Wasn't it choosing the clothes?
I don't quite remember his name. Black guy, glasses.
Oh no, he was upset about the hair.
Yes, and it wasn't even the hair. It was more so, you can having a home with two dads is just fine. However, why does one dad have to be super flamboyant and the other dad is super masculine? Right? Why does one have to be feminine and one have to be masculine?
Well,
Why can't there just be two
I'm
dads?
sure there's a dynamic like that
I'm
in
sure that
there,
there
right?
is, but I think that it's being more forced. It, like, the
Mm,
what we were seeing in that
mm,
show was like there was this force of making the dad more flamboyant and doing the hair really frilly and doing, and it's almost like you're giving a stereotype. You're trying to push a stereotype.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's more what it felt like. And I don't know if that would be considered performative of like what they're creating, if that would be a performative thing, but I understand the dynamic of two fathers and I understand the dynamic of two mothers, but we don't have to add on the stereotypes of just like when they have the friend group of all the people and everyone is browns and lights and darks and whatever, and then you have the one dark skinned girl who's super loud and crazy, and like, what, why do we see, so now we're assigning a stereotype of the loud ghetto
Yeah.
black girl.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to do that. So I
Mm.
do think it's okay to introduce different, like the household dynamics, but then to bring in, messaging of neither she or he, or that start now we're complicating it. You know what I'm saying? Like, now we're adding all of these additional layers
Yeah.
that, if I'm a parent, I don't know that I want to have that I don't want to go that deep. It's a different conversation to introduce two fathers as a household or two mothers as a household. It's a completely different conversation to introduce they are neither a he or a she. And they also would like to be called they and not, you know what I'm saying? Like, now we've gone beyond the scope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now you've made my job so much harder as a parent because now I have to start exploring concepts that I wasn't prepared to explore until puberty, maybe, or until the curiosity grew to have these conversations
That's a good example.
with my
That's
child.
a good example. I didn't consider that when I answered your question. Um,
That was a very long-winded explanation. I do
yeah,
apologize.
that's
Very
why
long.
I wish you went first, but it's okay.
Every answer will be like that because that is just in my nature.
No, but that's a great point though. With in regards to the video that you're talking about,
Hmm.
right? Another thing is, of course, just the boy choosing what he was going to wear.
Yes,
Like between the what is it, the helicopter hat and the
yes.
tiara
The
and stuff like
tiara, the
that, the
tutu.
tutu. It got a little ridiculous, after a while,
Yes.
and I don't know. I don't really think that the the way the other dad looked mattered
Okay.
as much. I don't think that was like an issue for me, right? Like because I'm sure there's a representation out there. So, um, but however, with the boy actually having so many choices
Yes.
to what I'm saying, like I think that decision making for well, we're talking
Hmm.
about a damn show, but
We forgot we're talking about Coco Melon.
yeah, yeah, but it's just like I don't. That's not the reality for a lot of kids, So like if I'm a writer animator,
Hmm.
for this show, I would need to consider all parents and kids, right? Like
Yeah.
it's only fair, right? Like okay, you did your dad thing, right? You
Hmm.
did with the two parents, but it's like it's a very small group of kids that are able to like pick and choose what they want to wear and with those options and
Right.
choices, right? So in that case, but it goes back to my point, right? It's
Hmm.
like stay involved because you
Yeah.
never like I'm sure at this point at this stage, right? Because this has been an issue for parents dating back to COVID, maybe before that,
Yeah.
right? So if they know that it's out there, stay involved.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on what shows your kid is watching because I'm sure it to change. And if they're I'm sure like shoot, I forgot the studio and the show, but they put something slick into one of their shows, right? Like it
Hmm.
was kind of like a little message, right? But it would be missed, right? Especially for kids, it's gonna go over our heads. But as an adult, you see that you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
So like I'll have to show it to you off when
Hmm.
we get off here. But in that and still in that case, right? It's like just stay mindful of what the kid is watching because you never know, they could slide something. And that could be like a small thing. That could be a vision.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like so it could just be something like that's not even relevant to the story overall.
At
It could be a
all.
dream or anything like that. So that's another issue.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, of course this is, it's not reality. So it's like, hey, make sure that you're keeping an eye on what your
Yeah.
child is watching. I think that's really just the biggest thing. You
It's
know,
more than just,
'Cause you can't
yeah.
unless, like, the parents start to revolt and stop, showing color, but, I mean, that's gonna be very hard to explain to the child.
Yeah.
Why, now we're gonna have even more conversation, you know what I'm saying, of what's really going on, right?
Yeah.
And that's gonna go over their head, so,
Yeah.
yeah, and until that decision is made with the studio, the writers and animators, until there's, like, some sort of, like, alignment
Hmm.
with them and the parents regarding what they're showing their children.
Hmm.
I think for the parents, what they could do like immediately is just make sure that they're staying and cut down on that screen time.
Yeah.
Like make sure that the kid isn't taking in too much at one time, right? Because it's happening a lot. We experience
Yes,
it and
we
we're
ex yeah, and
overstimulated.
we're overstimulated
You know what I'm
sometimes with
saying?
the amount of content
We're
that's out there.
overstimulated. So
I
I
can
can
only, yeah, imagine how a child is feeling by constantly
and we spend
consuming.
and we spend years, months even.
Yeah.
I should say months, years even, right? Trying to curate, what our timeline looks like, what our
Hmm.
FYP looks like.
And even
Um,
still, stuff
s-
slips through the cracks. I remember there was one video that popped up with the man putting rubber bands on a milk
Oh,
jug.
I remember
And
that.
I was like,
Wha
why is this on my like and
We took a
literally
wrong turn.
the comments were literally like, how did this man end up on my FYP?
He was doing that with the watermelon.
It's I don't know, but this is not what I want to see. But somehow he snuck into a lot of people's algorithms, and it wasn't even that he snuck in; they pushed it because it was getting a lot of engagement. It was getting a lot of rage comments because people are like, "This is ridiculous. Why is this? What is he doing?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so even then, it's like that's where I'm fearful of like the AI content coming into children's feeds because as much as you
You said that,
don't
like,
want it,
for every video last night. I was like,
okay, I'm
"Honey."
just okay. No, I did not.
Yeah.
No, I did not. But that when it comes to the children's content and the AI sneaking in, this AI stuff, some of it looks really freaking freaky. Like, and it's just like with the dinner rolls. Look, I'm itching right now with the dinner rolls. The bears, they turn into
Oh,
they
yeah,
turn into
yeah,
bears from the dinner rolls. Like that is so freakishly weird,
yeah.
but also can't look away because it's so freaky and weird. You know what I'm saying? And it's like stuff like that. But like, do we see how terrifying this is that you can make the deep fakes and all that stuff? You can make people or any animal or whatever do things that are not real, not true. The child has no context. They have no discernment because they haven't lived enough to have any,
Yeah.
and you're not present, you're not monitoring. And so, unfortunately, children think that dinner rolls can turn into bears. I know it sounds wild, but when you are a 4-year old looking at this, what else are you supposed to think?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know that that's not true.
Yeah.
So I think that's the bigger conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah.
To your point, parents have to be involved
Yeah.
in monitoring
Yeah.
what children are consuming.
And I'm not saying like you have to completely be over their shoulder all the time. Like
Oh,
if it's something like if I personally can watch the show before she does, like let's say it releases on streaming platforms at 8 in the morning, right? But it's a school night or a school day, right?
right.
And so she goes to school, and then I'm like, okay, let me see what this is, and then
Yeah.
I can say, okay, this is fine. And then she comes home and we both watch it. If it's one of
Mhm.
those things, then cool. Or if it's a Saturday morning and she's not up yet, and I watch it beforehand, and something like that, right? Because I think if even if you can't be there physically, right,
Right.
physically present while she's watching or he's watching these shows, for me, there's still something that you should do, not so much homework, but like at least take a look and see what's going on and see what actually is being presented to your child.
Right. Sorry, I'm texting Brooke for us.
I'm about to say we're gonna have to cut that out.
Yeah. What? We can keep it in there.
So
Sorry,
that
guys. We have an engagement that's coming up that we have to run for in a moment, but I'm sending a message because you guys are important.
yes, I was thinking about doing it the next day, but want to keep it scheduled.
Okay. So,
Did
no,
you?
I think we had a really great conversation.
Yeah,
I think we touched on a lot of things that are really important. And I think that it's just, though we don't have children, it is it's an area that concerns us just as far as the future that
yeah.
the future. The children are the future, and they will be the ones who take the reins as each generation gets older. It is going to be that generation before.
I think it's a concern for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you need to have children to kind of not be upset about what we're
Yeah.
seeing or
For
hearing
yeah, for
about,
what we're saying.
but it's also, yeah. I mean, I think there's a shared concern,
Yeah.
because we're like, hey, we don't want this to happen to our children. We don't want this to happen to any of these kids,
Yeah.
nor do we want it to happen to ours. So
Yeah.
it's like, hey, let's kind of tone it, and that's where I think studios will like, and maybe. maybe going forward, I just don't know how bad it is. I've
Yeah.
seen from the clips that I've seen and heard about it. It looks ridiculous, but also it makes me want to just go. Goodness,
Do a deep dive.
I'm that, but it's like, do I really want to watch Coco?
No, but also I do want to know more.
Yeah,
I do want to know
yeah.
more, and
I
I
need to. I
share
want to
your
know.
sentiment of
I
that.
want to know more because, yeah, I mean, it's concerning, and you have several friends with kids,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they've gave their testament of what
Hmm.
how they feel about a lot of this stuff. So
They're also millennials, and I think that
yeah,
it's one of those things. I think they are more involved.
yeah,
My friends, a lot of their children are very active in sports. They're very active in a lot of things. And so I think that that's something that kind of helps them,
yeah, yeah.
and they're not always busy with something, but they have dance, they have other things to pour their energy and talents and activity
Their focus.
into. Yes. And so you know, it definitely still does, it is something that I think that, we keep on our radar
Yeah,
and, keep an eye out
absolutely.
for.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think there's a group of parents that are completely fine with whatever's being
Yes.
shown. They trust the studios, yada yada yada. There's another group that is not with it,
Absolutely not fine.
not with it.
We are not okay.
Yeah, so I just think that yeah, just try to stay as vigilant and proactive as possible. And just even if you have to like limit the screen time, or just kind of, yeah, do your own deep dive, right? Like just
Yeah.
kind of make sure that you stay in tune from what is being shown.
Be as curious as the kids are curious.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but on that note, we're gonna wrap it up there. If you have enjoyed hanging out with us, be sure to catch us over on crembrule.com. That's KRIMBERLE.com. Also, send us some questions because we want to do a little question situation.
Yes. Send us some
So
questions.
if you have any questions, relationship wise, life wise, world wise, please send us your questions to crimberle@gmail.com. Again, that's KRIMBERLE at gmail.com. Over on our website, if you see anything in our apartment that you also like, we have a little shop, if you want to call it, over there. You can always check out things over there. But we really enjoy curating our home and adding character, as we like to call it. So we leave those
Yes.
links there for you just to check it out if you see anything interesting in the space, other than the plants, because you won't find those links. We've gotten these babies from all over,
We're
all
gatekeeping.
over. No, we're not.
Okay, never mind.
Kroger's, y'all. Go to Kroger's. Go to Kroger's. Twin came from Kroger's. Came from Kroger's. Came from Kroger's. Okay, so no gatekeeping here. Go to Kroger's. Get them for the 10.99.
Lowe's, Home Depot,
Lowe's, Home Depot, all of that. But
and support your local businesses.
and support your local businesses. We do have
Yes.
some local nurseries here.
Yes.
Other than that, I think that is it. We will catch you guys on the next one. Bye, y'all.